we just wanted to get together with you guys to let you talk to Colin and Jermaine. As far as we're concerned, our team, it's kind of a lucky break for us, where for the team, I think going through the year, Colin was ready to go, prepared, but going into the NBA, with this injury and probably missing all the combine and missing everything, it's best for him to be able to get another year and go in healthy and stronger and more experience. And the interesting thing is, like, when we recruited him, I told him we were going to redshirt him, but we needed him right away. I could never do it. So he's young, so it actually works out good for him too. And Jermaine's circumstance is kind of similar, believe it or not. If you remember, he when he was in high school, he missed a whole summer with a knee injury, and then came in his freshman year and broke his hand. And then by the time he got back, our lineup was set. He really didn't get to play. So he and I had talked about, maybe you get an extra year in redshirt. So he's also ready, but I think both of them are, want to go into the NBA prepared, and the best they can be. So an extra year for Jermaine to get stronger and even improve better as a player allows him to go into the league and in his pro opportunities much more prepared for a great challenge. Both of them will graduate on time, so we definitely look like it's a break for our program, but also a great opportunity for both of them. So we'll let you guys ask them questions, and I'll hang around if you need me.
All right, we will start off with questions for Colin. If anybody has any, please raise your hand or write in the chat, and we will get to you.
Hey, Colin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you again. We never thought it'd be this soon. I just want to know how your knee is progressing, and when do you feel you'll be able to start activities?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. I've had some time to just relax, and I've been doing a lot of rehab and physical therapy with our trainer here at Villanova. I've been up at school. I haven't been home really since I got hurt, so just trying to take it one day at a time and continue to get better. And I'm really not in a rush to do anything, physical activities or anything like that. I want to get healthy first and kind of be on the safer side, because I know it's a serious injury. But I think what the doctors are saying is by the end of June is when I'll be 100%. But right now, just trying to progress every day as best I can.
Thank you.
Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Colin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You and Jermaine made your announcements a few minutes apart. Did you guys talk, and was it something you decided, that you wanted to do together?
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it a lot with Coach, with a lot of people within the program and our families, and we were both ready to make the decision. It was just about when we were going to do it. And that's my brother. We've done everything since freshman year together. We lived together freshman year. So we kind of joke around now that we're going to be on each other's last nerve by the end of this fifth year. But that's my brother, and we were ready to do it probably last week, I think, but it was just about when.
And was it a difficult decision?
Honestly, not really. I knew what I want my future to look like, and to give myself the best opportunity to play at the next level. I didn't want to go into it being hurt. So I sat down with Coach Wright and the coaching staff. I talked with them a lot. I talked with my family a lot, prayed about it. And I know that God has a plan for myself and for Jermaine. And this is just a part of the plan. It's a part of our journey. And I'm excited for it. I mean, you can't beat playing another year of college basketball. You can't beat having another year at Villanova, getting to learn and kind of grow as a player and as a person for another year. So I'm really excited for it, and I'm in a great place mentally. And I think I'll be in a great place physically, just being around people that love me and care about me and want me to succeed.
Thanks, Colin.
Josh Ferlin, go ahead.
Hey, Colin, good to see you. Was there a point when you knew, and if so, like what was it that you were thinking about at that point that you were like, all right, I'm definitely coming back?
The day after my surgery. The day after my surgery was brutal because I was in so much pain. I was like, there's no way. And I also didn't know anything about the NBA draft process and when the NBA draft would be, when the workouts would be. And this is home for me. I mean, I've never left the city of Philadelphia really. So this is where I'm comfortable. This is home for me. And going into my rehab and physical therapy, doing it with the people at Villanova here I was most comfortable with. So I thought about it right away. Even right after the injury, I thought about it. But I would say right after my surgery and kind of just talking to my parents and Coach Wright, I knew that it was probably what was best for me.
And you've mentioned the pro aspect of coming back a lot, but obviously the potential for this team with everybody that's returning other than Jeremiah for next year, given that, you guys will be looked at as a potential national championship contender, how much was the potential for next year factored into the equation?
Obviously having guys that are experienced in the program and playing with these guys for 2 years now was something that was intriguing, but it's not something that we ever talk about going into a season. We never talk about winning championships. It's always about just becoming the best Villanova basketball team we could by the end of the season. And I think these guys did an amazing job of kind of just finishing out the stretch of the year. After I went down, they did an incredible job of just going into every day, into every practice, every film session, and just worrying about getting better and making sure that we were playing Villanova basketball. So I'm excited to see where we can get with this group in terms of playing Villanova basketball because we've been together for a few years now. So that's the really exciting part to me.
Dan, go ahead.
Was this decision strictly injury related? Because obviously the NCAA was going to allow everybody a chance to come back. Was this on your radar before this?
Not really. If I think I was ready if I wasn't injured to make that leap to the next level, but obviously getting injured, it puts everything into perspective. And although I feel I was ready for it, obviously I want myself to have the best opportunity and chance to play at the next level. And me coming back and getting healthy was really important. And just having another year at school to mature and grow as a person and a player was also really important.
And just a real quick follow-up, I know Jay and the staff is usually pretty good at giving feedback from the next level. What did you hear, if anything, about your potential pro prop?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Coach Wright about it. He would probably know more than I would, so you could probably ask him when he gets on.
Colin, go ahead.
Hey, Colin, you've played in 118 games in your Villanova career, meaning that you need just 31 more to become the all-time leader, passing Phil Booth. Were you aware of this, and what does that mean to you?
I was not aware of that, but that's kind of shocking to me because I felt like Phil was here for forever. And I was a sophomore, and he was a fifth-year guy. I was like, this guy's been here for 7 years, but I guess people are saying that about me now. But no, I wasn't aware of that. It's not something that I really ever thought about, but it'll be it's cool. Played with a lot of great players here. I made brothers that'll last a lifetime. So that's what I really cherish.
Thank you.
Glenn, go ahead.
Colin, as you were going through your decision-making process, what do you think was the major factor that led you to the decision to return?
Just my family and the coaching staff, my teammates, talking with a lot of them. And like I said, praying over it and knowing that God has a plan for me. And whether that was leaving for a professional career this year or next year, I know that he has a plan. And I just throughout my entire injury, I just try to keep my faith and make sure that I was going into every day having a positive attitude.
Thank you, Colin.
David, go ahead.
Hey, Colin, how hard was it to watch your team play in the NCAA tournament, knowing that the NCAA tournament was canceled the year before?
Yeah, it was tough. The last 2 years of tournaments, and especially this year, not being able to help or be out there with them, it was really hard. But those guys did an incredible job of just going into every day. The mental toughness of with being in a bubble, while also getting prepared to play games and play Villanova basketball at a high level. So it was a credit to those guys. They did a really good job, and it was definitely tough not being able to be out there with them.
And final one for me, when the NCAA announced that they were going to give the extra year of eligibility, did that come into your mind saying, you know what, maybe I should come back, or was it after you got injured, you say you were going to come back?
It was more so after I got injured. That's when I really took it into consideration. I talked to the coaching staff, and it's really a blessing, honestly, that it happened this year, being with that we do have this extra year, because any other year I wouldn't have this opportunity. So it's really a blessing.
Delaney, go ahead.
Hi, now that the season's over, can you just talk a little bit about what it's like emotionally and or physically to be a college athlete in the midst of COVID, and how this crazy year just like factored into your decision of coming back?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough year. I think everybody in college basketball could say that. Just knowing that you went through a lot, being in a bubble and the grind of a season and quarantines here and there. So it was definitely tough, but it makes you appreciate the normalcy of college basketball and having fans and not having to worry about a virus or quarantining. So it definitely makes you appreciate everything, and it puts everything into perspective.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
Jermaine, were there any health concerns or injury concerns of your own that factored into this decision to come back?
No.
So what were the factors that were important to you?
Just that being surrounded by people who love you and you love back, who are genuinely there for your best interests. And not to say that people aren't at the next level, but that's more individual based. And this place is really special to me. And, you know, having another opportunity to get better, become a better Villanova basketball player, become even more of a staple in the Villanova program, things like that, and other factors, you know, definitely weighed on me.
Thanks.
Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine. You know, I asked Colin this. You guys made your announcement a few minutes apart on Twitter. Was that planned? Had you guys talked about it once you came to his decision? You were going to announce about the same time?
Yeah, we definitely did. We definitely had plenty of conversations about it, and we were supposed to do it at the exact same time. And I got distracted doing a text message, and I was like 3 minutes late, but we were supposed to do it at the same time.
You know, I mean, you came in together, and you would have gone out together this year. Now you're going out together next year. What's it mean to both of you are coming back?
Honestly, it means everything to me. A lot of people don't know, but like looking up to Colin like freshman year, because he was playing and I really wasn't. So I learned a lot of things from him. So we've both been through struggles. He's helped me out. I've helped him out. It's like when you get a chance to regroup, you know, come back and be with someone who means so much to you. You know, it's a blessing. Not everybody can do that.
Thank you.
Joe, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, Colin also said that you guys spending 5 years together means that you'll be getting on each other's last nerve. How do you plan to coexist during the season?
We probably will at some point. I mean, everybody butts heads at some point. But that's just the beauty of of our relationship is that we can butt heads and then also put it to the side and know what the main goal is as basketball players.
And also, your decision came like literally 3 weeks after the season ended. Did you give any thought whatsoever to seeing what the NBA had to offer? Did you talk to coach about it at all?
Yeah, I definitely thought about it. I definitely had conversations with coach and also my family, and other people within the basketball world. And I felt like you only get one chance in your life to be around people who genuinely love you and play for something that really matters. That's just bigger than yourself. And I know I have the rest of my life to hopefully play at a professional level. But, you only get one chance to really bask in the college atmosphere and be around people that really mean a lot.
And are one of those other considerations a shot at a national championship next year?
Yeah, but, step at a time, just focus on getting better as soon as the ball starts rolling. But we'll see.
Thanks, Jermaine.
Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good. I'm sure you weren't basing your decision on whether Colin came back or not, but was that like an open dialogue between the two of you of just like where each other was at, or did one of you come to the other first and say, all right, I'm definitely coming back? Like, how did that sort of timeline work out with the two of you making decisions before you made the announcement?
So after the season, we both gave it a couple of days, and then I went to him and started talking to him, seeing how he felt, and we just kept the conversation mainly between us and the people within our circle, his circle and my circle, and we just weighed out all the pros and cons and kept it very objective.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because it seemed like from what Colin said that he knew pretty early, so like right after his surgery, he already kind of knew he was gonna come back. So when you go to him after those few days, and was that the indication that he gave you? And then what's that feeling like when you hear him say he's thinking about returning?
At first, it sounded like he was still on the fence. I kind of knew that I was on the same boat as him, but I guess the way he was saying it was kind of like he was still on the fence. And then once he said yeah, I'm thinking about coming back, I was like, all right, then it's all set. So it was written then.
Thanks, Jermaine.
Colin, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, after senior night, it kind of looked like you were pretty emotional, and it felt like maybe this could be the last time playing at the Finn. Was there something that changed leading up to you making this decision, or did you know even then that you'd be coming back?
That senior night in the pavilion is just emotional as it is, because you don't even think about that. Or for me, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was mainly thinking about, just Villanova basketball, just playing for my teammates and coaches. And mainly that night specifically, when I was kind of emotional, was definitely over Colin. But any thoughts of coming back at that time during the season, that wasn't even on my mind.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Glenn, go ahead.
Jermaine, now that you've made the decision and that process is behind you, can you talk about your level of excitement, to begin preparing for next year?
I'm really excited. Just to do it all over again. We got almost the same group. We're missing Jeremiah and Cole, and we're also adding some freshmen in. So it's gonna be fun to go through those experiences all over again. And again, just to put on that Villanova jersey, just the culture, having people around you who love you, those little things you can't take for granted.
Thank you, Jermaine.
David, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, when you heard the NCAA was going to announce that they're going to be giving the extra year of eligibility, did that cross your mind when the season started, or right after you guys were eliminated by Baylor?
You knew it was. I knew it was there at the beginning of the season, But again, it wasn't on my mind. I was so focused on trying to be the best I could be that year for my teammates.
And final one for me, after hearing Jeremiah decide to go to the NBA and Cole deciding to transfer, did that basically help your decision to decide to come back, or was there something else?
No, it didn't help or hinder my decision. I was going to make a decision based off of how I truly felt at the end of the day. So I was unfortunate that they wanted to leave, and I wish them the best, but I was still going to make the decision for me.
All right, thank you.
Delaney, go ahead.
Hi. Throughout the year, there's been many articles about you guys being in bubbles. Obviously, there was definitely some negatives to that, like not seeing your family. But could you talk about any positives or any like crazy, unique story you have about living in a bubble?
So even though you can't see outside friends, family, the moments that you make with your teammates, like spending so much time with them, there's literally endless possibilities to how many stories you can create without even like forcing it. Like there's been many like creating lingo, just paying attention to what little things people do, impersonating people, all sorts of different ways to lighten the mood. And you think you'd butt heads and you'd be tired of each other, but it's like it's all you got. And you enjoy every second of it, believe it or not. I'm speaking on that from my side and what I've seen from the team. I don't know about other teams around the nation, but I thought we had a lot of fun with our time together inside the bubble.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, Jermaine, that is all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jay, did these decisions at all catch you off guard, or when the NCAA announced its decision, were you prepared? And also, in the past, you said you've recruited thinking that guys might leave a year early, like, Dante, for example. How has having all of a sudden 2 extra guys, maybe that weren't in the cards a year and a half ago, affected what you were doing or will do coming up?
We were not prepared for this, Dan. We try to do our roster structuring years in advance. So we were not prepared for obviously a pandemic year. And when they made the announcement that seniors could come back, we knew we're going to have some issues to deal with. Now, having said that, I hope we're kind of at the end of this right now. With our roster, I think we're pretty set, but you never know. We kind of figured this would be the last year for Jeremiah. Never thought we'd get Colin back. But we would have suggested, never thought we'd get Colin and Jermaine back before they made this, this rule. So I think that's part of the reason we lost Cole, is because those guys were coming back. So I think that's probably the loss we had out of this was Cole, which is sad to me. But if you look at it all, I think we came out of it pretty fortunate.
Joe, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, I want to get your thoughts on a 12-man rotation.
I'll tell you, I do think we're going to have some depth for the first time in a while, that we don't have to develop. I think it's there. That's going to be exciting. And we're going to look forward to it. It's going to be, that's a good challenge to have, Joe. You and I can discuss how we're doing with that during the season.
I can't wait. On a serious note, have you heard from Damir? Do you have any inkling on what he might decide to do?
Yeah, we talk to Damir all the time. He's in. Our guys are in every day. Our poor trainer's working every day with rehab with these guys. I think it's probably going to take until August, until Damir can see physically where he is and make some type of decision. You know, he might make the decision in August to try to start out the season, see how he does, and he might make the decision in August to just know, like, I'm not, you know, I'm too far away, or, you know, this doesn't. So he's still a long way off in terms of really being able to determine what he's going to do. I am pretty sure that we'll have him around in some way, you know, either taking graduate classes, being a part of the team at worst. But playing wise, there's going to be still a lot of time for him to decide.
Thanks, Jay.
Harry, go ahead.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Terry.
You know, are you, I guess, surprised that they kind of made this decision together, or they sort of conspired to do it in a way?
There was a unique balance in, you know, giving them our opinion and hoping they would speed up their decision-making, because you have so many people calling in that want to transfer, and you have guys on the team that are, you know, wondering, are they going to stay or not? You know, like I said, I think when Cole decided to leave, it kind of gave me an inkling that those two might stay, because I know Cole loved it here, but I know he wanted to play a lot, you know? So it was, again, this isn't something that you plan for, or isn't something that we've been through before. Those two are very close. I was getting the feeling that they were both going to go in the same direction, whichever way it was. And then, you know, the more they talk to you, the more you feel they're coming back. Usually when they stop talking to you, that usually means they're going.
You know, and Jermaine gives you, you know, losing Jeremiah and Cole, you were a little thin on experience on the front line. Jermaine gives you a veteran presence there.
Definitely. And, you know, as everybody knows, I mean, we've been kind of inexperienced at the guard spot for a while and experienced up front. Now we're going to be a little bit more experienced at the guard spot and a little inexperienced up front. But I think it's a great opportunity for our, you know, Nana coming in, and for Trey, and obviously Eric Dixon, who, you know, we're excited about. And so, and obviously Slate, if you count Slate up front, you know, he's kind of a guard forward. So it creates, you know, Jeremiah and Cole departing does create opportunities for people. Even though we're getting these two back, I mean, one of the things we really struggled with during the season was playing Jermaine and Colin too many minutes. There was a problem we had a lot during the season.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks.
Mike Jensen, go ahead.
Jay, understanding that Cole could have factored in here too, but just big picture, having Gillespie and Samuels back next year, I mean, what does that do for your excitement level, big picture of what this team could do next year?
You know, we're always excited. And, you know, I want to your earlier question, Mike, I want to get full disclosure. Jermaine actually played the entire season with a severely sprained finger, which he's having evaluated. If he would have went through the pre-draft process, he probably would not have gotten anything done to his finger. Now he's got the option. He had surgery on his finger. So he was answering a question that doesn't have anything to do with his decision. I just didn't want you to see his finger split and say he lied. It didn't have anything to do with the decision, because he didn't have to get it done.
Wasn't something they were going to flag and stop the process or anything like that.
Right. But now that he has the time, he might get it done. We're looking at that right now. But yeah, but we're excited. But we would have been excited, because what happens at this time of year is when guys leave, it just gives you opportunities for guys who have been waiting, especially in our program. You know, guys like Brandon Slater and Justin Moore and Eric Dixon and you know, Trey now, and you know, those guys have been waiting for their opportunities, you know, to be go-to guys, Caleb Daniels, even though they've been starters, Jeremiah, took on a lot of responsibility for our team. And so we would have been excited, but obviously getting 2 veterans back, you're extra excited.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to just do a little card here. I'm going to take over. Michelle's got to duck out, so I'm going to record here, and we'll go to John with the next question, please.
Hey, Jay. Obviously, it's a good problem to have, but is there any concern on your end in terms of managing minutes or keeping the younger guys engaged? And have you given any thought to kind of how you're gonna work through that this year?
Yeah, obviously, you want to go into the season this way, and then with experienced guys, young guys. One of the things we've tried not to do is have a lot of pressure on our young guys. Have our young guys playing, but not have them out there with veteran players. If you remember, even Jalen Brunson as a freshman played with a lot of veteran guys. So that's the way we try to make it. We've had a couple years here where, with Jeremiah and Justin and, some even before that when Colin was young, we had young guys taking on major roles. So this is a good position for us. And then once you get into the season, you manage it, but I like where we are right now.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
Dan Gelston, please.
Jay, there's about 1,300 players in the transfer portal right now. You guys always I'll quote you guys every time I do a press conference. That's where I get my numbers. Up to 1,300 now. Are you fine with that? Or do some changes need to be made going forward? How do you view what's going on there?
I think it's what's best for the players, Dan. It's going to make college basketball a little messy for the next couple years. But I think the pandemic has also added to the high numbers this year, because seniors can return. Cole Swider being an example. I think if Colin and Jermaine didn't stay, I think Cole would have stayed. It's just playing time. I'm sure that's happening on some teams too. And then the first time that this is available to everybody without having to sit out, I think has excited a lot of people. I think you're going to see some guys come back to the same teams. So I think this thing will balance out in the next couple of years, but I do think for a couple of years it's going to be messy.
Real quick, if I could, did you feel like you had to re-recruit any of your players, or was everyone's decision kind of?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to change in college basketball. Is I think at the end of each season, it's really going to be like free agency, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just going to be, you have to sit down and you're going to have to explain to the guys who's coming back, who's not, what's their role, what's the roster going to be like. That's what I mean. But that's going to be messy for a couple of years, but then I think we'll all get used to it. I think it'll balance out.
We'll go to David Melandra for the last question.
Hey, Jay, you always say you learn from previous experiences. How do you think you've handled with some of your players deciding to leave Villanova early to go into the NBA?
You're going in and out a little bit. How I handled their decision-making process? Is that what they're asking?
Yeah. How do you think you've handled because normally before you didn't have many players leave early to go to the NBA, but now the last couple of years you've had a couple of guys. How do you think you've handled everything with that?
Well, one of the things is you learn each year, and it changes each year, and each guy has a totally different decision-making process. Like Colin, someone asked Colin, about what we found out from the NBA. I still think if Colin would have been healthy, I would have suggested go through the process. If you're going to be a first round pick, go, or, you know, an early second round pick. And if you're not, you got a chance to come back and do it because you're a year young. You're going to redshirt anyway. Get a year stronger because you only have 1 year to enter the NBA. And they don't have a lot of patience in that league. So, you know, unless you're a one and done guy that they're going to, you know, wait to develop. If you're not a one and done guy, you got to go in ready. So my point to that, David, is we didn't really have to discuss that a lot with Colin because the main point is he wanted to go in healthy, and he knew he had a year to get stronger. He liked college. He liked Villanova. And we knew the NBA guys like him, and they love him if you came back healthy and a year better. So what we've learned, I think, to answer your question, is each guy is different and each year is different. Like, who would have ever thought, you know, like last year with Sadiq, we're going to have to make a decision with no combine, you know, no tryouts, no workouts, hardly in person. You know, it's just, you just got to take it year by year and in each case individually.
And last one for me is with Baylor winning the national championship, will mark the 5th time you guys have lost to the eventual national champions. What can you take away from that whole experience about losing to the eventual national champions?
There's a little positive takeaway from that in that, you know, we want to be the best we can be by the end of the year, you know, and I think we were playing our best basketball at the end of the year, even, you know, I think it's a point Colin was trying to make, and I know you guys, you know, I know you get sick of hearing it, but I could make stuff up for you, or I could tell you the truth. But that's why we say be the best team we can be by the end of the year. Like, all we could do is be the best we could be without Colin. You know, we didn't have control of that. So I think not having Colin, not having, you know, we don't talk about this a lot, but Demir Cosby Roundtree was a starter for us. Like, he could have gave us some great depth up front and experience. So not having those guys, I thought we did a really good job. I really felt good about our guys. And then knowing that it took the champion to knock us out makes you feel a little bit better. You know, you played your best. You ran into a team that was better, and they were the best team in the country. So you feel pretty good. And then you go back to work.